Welcome to the freaking you cast.
Bow, bow, bow.
All
Got,
right, let's fucking get down to it. Let's get freaking nasty
all
with
right, do we
some
want to talk about
Jojolion.
we're going to talk about how much of profits we were?
What part? Well, yeah, but we're real profits next chapter when you guess the head doctor stand right. But for now,
Yeah.
we're semi profits.
So yeah, Ojiro fucking died.
Whoa! Slow down. Yeah, I mean, me and Joe left last chapter. We probably said on the podcast. Jobin and Tsurugi are going to repel Ojiro, and everything's going to be fine and happy, and then Ojiro will get fucking murdered. Now, I didn't expect it to be a cold, brutal, long-distance murder.
Yeah.
And by cold, I mean hot.
Yeah. So I think going into like this arc, you and I were theorizing that this was going to set up some more conflict because we still have so many days left until like the countdown happens. So I think you and I were thinking like this is what was happening there. The head doctor arc is going to be kind of like a force that's going to drive all of our characters together for a central conflict.
I knew this one was after. I got that because Tsurugi fell asleep, so I got.
Oh, that's
that
right.
was that
Yeah.
version.
But like, I felt like it was going to be some sort of other driving force that would have to like
Mm-hmm.
lead them to either like driving the conflict with Jobin and Josuke again, or they'd have to meet up and like team up, or just anything really. Nah.
Quick, short arc, which a lot of people are like, why did this happen? Well, we're going to get to that. How about we take it from the top and kind of scroll through and talk about some interesting points?
Let me get that manga decks or my credible sites to read Jojolion.
My Viz Jojolions, which totally exist, I promise.
God, I mean, I'm telling you, Shonen Jump, Shueisha, I'd pay you.
I already pay you to read the other. I will read official Jojolions, man.
Yeah.
Well, shit, dude. I don't know if I can. I can wait a couple days for One Piece. I don't know if I can wait a couple days for Jojolion. I need it on that 19th, man. It's the cornerstone of my month.
It's hot. Also, I was very excited because it was the cover of this issue of Ultra Jump, so that made me happy.
Yeah. This opening pose is apparently an Elvis Presley pose, and it just looks great. I love when Josuke is drawn in blue as opposed to white and orange, and sometimes he's like brown, or like I think he's even been pink.
He looks better in those cooler colors.
Blue is my go-to. Also, he's got some polka dot shoes.
God, man. I love the color schemes whenever they get crazy like that.
So, it starts. Dad and son freaking out. They're noticing that shit's going down. By page 4, Tsurugi smashing his face with the phone and launching himself, and that you get this panel of him like, Daddy, it's still not over. My hand is still being controlled, and he's just bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
And Jobin is very justifiably mad. He's a cold guy, but this guy loves his family.
Yeah, this is, I think, like, the best way to compare Jobin is like the Cersei in Game of Thrones. Like, the thing that Jobin will always care for is like his direct family, like his wife and his kid, and making sure they are okay. So like this is like a sore spot for him. Like just straight up, there's like the one thing like you do not touch for him.
See, but unlike Cersei, Jobin enjoys fun.
Yeah, Jobin has a summer vacation.
Yeah, Cersei just wants to have babies and fuck her bro. Yeah. So Tsurugi gets launched to the window, which the glass is falling. It's about to land on Tsurugi. Jobin jumps in to protect him. And the whole first half of this chapter is just peak JoJo like action, where it's super tense, it's super gory,
it's
and you
calculated.
get big plays, very calculated. Where when Jobin reaches out to help him, Ojiro is immediately on it and tags both of his hands, which is a big oh fuck moment.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. He can just touch you to use fun now.
No, I think he cut himself slightly when he was reaching through the window.
No, because Ojiro is most definitely touching it.
Well, I think but he's also touching him, so it could be both. But
it used to not be touching. It used to be if you get hurt and he's above you, it's a new wound. Okay. And I guess you can't use a controlled arm to create more wounds. It has to be like more natural.
this would be a direct thing.
And then you get this chapter gets really uncomfortable for this point, where Jobin is choking his son out, and Ojiro's being a total asshole above them, and he's completely bodying these two, and these two are pretty strong stand fighters.
Yeah,
and just the idea of Jobin strangling Tsurugi is super uncomfortable, and then he's eventually like, "Stop! I'll tell you what you want. I'll show you my stand." He caves in, which is a really big moment. If you don't believe that he will put his family above most things, like, this is very clear to me. He got driven to a corner and he gave up. And I really like how Ojiro's like, "Show me your stands, bro." I really love when people do that. Ponrav does it in part 5, where as long as I can see your stand, I can at the very least know what it looks like and surmise its range. Like, you can try to fool me with its ability, but I can at least get an estimate. Which, that's really cool.
And also, like, it's almost like kind of like showing your hands. Like, you're not trying to sneak up on me with your stand, or it's not a long range stand and you're kind of positioning it somewhere. You're basically showing your gun and saying that's like,
this is the range of my gun. I can't really do anything to you right now. Then you get like the most metal shit, dude. I love this panel where Jobin is forced to guillotine themselves with the glass. That just looks so brutal. I really like that one. And they're dying, and Ojiro comes in and he takes the plant and he steals the money. So let's back it up a second. Ojiro smacks away Paper Moon King, and that's why he's under an illusion. But this illusion is very different from anything Paper Moon King has done before. It's
like substitute things.
He's not like replicating something or like making something indistinguishable compared to something else. Like he made Jobin look like a potted plant a couple chapters ago. That's fine. That's in line with what he does because there was a plant nearby. This is like, let me get the wording straight. Let's see.
It feels like a full illusion almost.
It is a full illusion. If I jump forward, he says, "Thank you, Tsurugi. All the broken glass and bleeding from shutting the window frame were exaggerated with an illusion of yours." So, what? How?
So I think like what do you mean how?
Like, that's not. I'm trying to do a Rocky's work for him as we do. I'm trying to stretch our previous definition of Paper Moon King to fit this. And I'm not sure I can. Like,
I think part of he can change now. He can add or remove aspects of something around that stuff now, if that makes sense. Like in the fountain or the cliff, like he added or subtracted like how far the cliff actually was from Ojiro. Does that make sense?
It could also be that. So first of all, answer one, this is an evolution of Paper Moon King, which is totally a plot thing that's happening. Where it becomes full illusions now, maybe. But Jobin says this in such a matter-of-fact way where it's like, he's not saying this like it's a new ability. He's saying this like, yeah, this is what your stand does. Which, in general, Jojolion does something I wish every part did, where stands get progressively stronger over time if they show up more often. Like, they keep their core ability, but they get new moves, they get a couple more techniques. And it's actually incorporating into the plot, but like it's still unclear what happened there.
I think honestly it's just Tsurugi was able to add more to what was already there.
I'm gonna say it was this actually. You see how there's big shards of glass on the floor while Jobin is strangling him. It wouldn't be a stretch to say he's just replacing what looks to be small shards with big shards.
I think that's what happened. That makes a lot more sense.
I can live with this.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Araki.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was sick either way. Ojiro, 100% trash. He steals the money, and then shit starts going down. So the money starts heating up. He's dying. He's boiling all over. And he drops the plant, and he just straight up fucking dies off screen.
Yeah.
And Jobin... I like how Jobin lies to Tsurugi. He makes up the scenario. He's like, "Oh, he probably left the plant somewhere. I'll go track him down. Don't worry about it, son." When he knows full well that he's actively dying right now.
Yeah.
And I guess this is cool because like he's shown some of his true side to Tsurugi, but he doesn't want his son to fully think of him as the cold-blooded, ruthless murderer that he can be. He still wants to see him as dad.
Mm-hmm.
He even looks really conflicted as he's about to explain it to Tsurugi. Like he looks sad and worried. It's actually an interesting expression there. It's hard to tell what he's going for.
Mm-hmm.
So he chases him down. He calls the mom, the sugar mama. She gets killed. She falls in the pool. Really cool panel with that. The daughter doesn't even realize what's happening because she's a millennial like us. And that's where the chapter wraps up. That's the general play-by-play there.
Yeah. It's an intense chapter, I feel, and especially it kind of just shows it's really an exploration of Jobin's, like how far Jobin is willing to go and like what his weak point is. It kind of cements that.
We've talked about it before. I think it was last freaking you cast.
Yeah.
But we talked about how Jobin is very much a product of his dad and his mom, where he gets a goofiness side and a fun-loving side from his dad, but his mom has instilled such a sense of survival and strength into him, and that you can really see those two sides conflicting with just the kind of person that he grew up to be today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jobin's such a great fucking character.
Dude, he is one of my favorite JoJo characters.
Yeah, like he gets really introduced like a good portion into the part, and you're just kind of like he just shows up. He literally just shows up into the.
He is hinted at really early. They're like, oh, oldest son Jobin. He doesn't show up to like chapter 30.
Yeah, and then you kind of just feel like he's at first like he's just like another like addition to the family that you're kind of introduced to this cast of characters, and then you keep going and you see the struggle that he has and the conflict and like just like everything that like went between him and his mom, and then realizing like in this relationship between him and Siguri, it's great.
And it's like he's involved in like every single type of organized crime at this point.
Yeah. Murder, fraud,
money laundering, smuggling, like he's in there. And I just freaking love him. I love Tsurugi. I've been saying it. I think he's like one of the most interesting characters that Rocky's written. Mm-hmm. Where I posted,
he's a little that kind of just was like you think he's almost like the California like Daimyo.
Daya.
That like she's like, oh, that's kind of like a weak ability that's not really combat focused, and then he ends up being more and more involved with these fights.
Even before it was like as strong as it might be now. When he by its second appearance, it was making leaves look like phones, or rather the reverse. It was making phones look like leaves, and buses look like people. And it's like, oh, okay, you. Not only are you really good at using this, you have no qualms with being ruthless about it. You have your dad's survival instincts, don't you?
God, that's such a great scene. That moment was just like a huge turning point for that character.
And it's only gone up from there. And it's interesting because Tsurugi is introduced as an ally.
Yeah.
And it's like a amicable relationship because, well, he's introduced as a creep because he's perving on Yasuo.
Yeah.
But aside from that, he works with Yasuo where he's like, and he works with Yasuo and Josuke because he wants to learn more about his dad. And he wants to learn more about the rock humans.
He wants to save his dad. Like that's the other thing too, is him and his dad share the same exact like ethics. They survive and they want to protect their immediate family.
Oh yeah, he's trying to find out more about his dad, but he's also trying to save him, right? I remember him having doubts about his dad earlier on.
Well, like he was talking about like, you know, like I have this curse and I know I need to cure it or else someone in my family is going to die because of it. Mm-hmm. So if the fruit can cure it, then we don't have to worry about it anymore, and then we're all saved. So that's why he wants to do it. But now that Yasuo and Josuke don't necessarily meet that ends for him, he just relies on his dad now and doing everything that his dad tells him to do.
And it's really messing with him because like hiding this fruit from them And helping out his dad is really stressing him out, and that's why his stand's evolving to begin with, and why he maybe kills Norisuke in the future, which oh my god, I can't wait till we catch up with that.
I could also just be an illusion, which we don't even know if you think about it.
It could be, but we'll have to see. I'm going to say for now that he killed Norisuke, and then I'll be surprised later if he didn't.
I don't think he killed him. I could see like Jobin killing him and then telling Suguru he's like, and like we almost have like another mother-child.
Yeah. I feel like we've been getting glimpses of that as they've worked together twice now. Yeah. Joe, let's have an intervention right now, okay? His name is Tsurugi.
Tsurugi.
The Ru comes before the G. Tsurugi.
Tsurugi. I can't pronounce words.
You say Suguri, and live on camera, I will help you through this. What else? I really love this chapter. It's like I read this and I was like, that was one of the most fun JoJo chapters I've read. Like, I'm loving Jojolion, man. Every month, it's the highlight.
And like, and it really gets up there because like we'll read One Piece like, oh man, One Piece is so good, and then Araki comes out with this bomb of a chapter that like blows like our minds, and we're just like, oh my god, and like just the evolutions of the stands and like kind of revealing more of what these stands can do, and the writing is so much more tighter than other parts, and the fact that he's limited his character pool to like such a small set of characters that keep showing up again, it really helps out a lot.
And let's talk about like the importance of Ojiro showing up, right?
Yeah.
So the main point of this arc was to develop Jobin more, to show off how Speed King can be used to store heat and release heat, and how it can go from a long distance stand to from a close distance stand to a long distance stand using that. Really cool improvement of his power, right?
It really reveals what his stand actually does.
Yes.
Whereas previously we just thought he heat up things. It's more of like he's able to take the heat,
store it, and release it, and it's the things that opens up for the future. I'm very excited about. Right, shows him more into his philosophy, and importantly, we got this done in 2 chapters, and we got to bring back Ojiro in that chapter, which was really fun. He really had a great showing. Like, he bodied both of them. He would have gotten away with it pretty scot-free if he wasn't greedy for the money. He showed some remorse for Kira, where he's like, you know what? I'm doing this for my baby mama, but this plant here, this one's for Kira. Like,
oh my goodness, he might have actually screwed Josuke and Holly Joestar too, because Ojiro mentions them.
What do you mean?
Jobin. He mentions Kira and Holly Joestar, and Jobin doesn't know about either of them. And so now,
wait, he talked about them?
Yeah, in the house.
Oh shit, that is a big deal that no one's talked about.
Like, he's literally hovering over them, saying they were originally for Holly-san and Kira.
Wow, that's... Please go somewhere with that, Araki, because that's another really good thing to add to this part. That's a big plot progression.
Because what that does, it links everything back to Josuke in some way, which means that it cements more that Jobin's going to go against
Jobin might go on the attack.
Yeah.
Because right now, Josuke is worried about the head doctor. He's like, Jobin's kind of sketchy, but we'll deal with that later. And Yasuo was like, we should really do it now.
Yeah. Because Josuke thinks, like, Jobin's not going anywhere. He's at home. Like, where's he going to go?
And, like, they don't know that Jobin's the one that knocked Yasuo out in Blue Hawaiian either. Like, he did it stealthily, so...
So it's even, like, just, like, now, like now Jobin has his own list of people. Like, all right, I have to figure out who these people are now. And because this guy fucked with my family, and now he's mentioned these 2 other people. I don't know who they are, but I'm going to find out, because they may, in fact, be people that have been coming back to fuck with me again.
He should have threatens to murder all of the Sugar Mama's family, too. It's like, oh, if you were a stand user, probably was going to have to kill your whole family, too, just to be safe. Okay, Jobin. All right.
Christ.
What a badass. I fucking love him. So, do you think Jobin's stand will evolve? Let's make some calls.
I don't...
Right now, it's by far the weakest main villain stand. And, like, let's say it. I've been casting my vote for Jobin to be the main villain since fucking Beetle Tendency.
Yeah.
People are like, no way, man. He just doesn't fit. And I'm like, like Jojolion's like a really refreshing different part. Like this is the kind of villain that would be in Jojolion.
Mm-hmm. And
IMO.
and the thing is, like, we can't establish like a theme of like what our main villain stands are. Like, if we go through the main universe, they all had like a time kind of connection to them in some way.
And now we have allegedly space.
Yeah, like, we're avoiding the area of which fate happens. If you look at Valentine, like, we're taking the area that bad times would happen and send it somewhere
Bad
else.
times.
Yeah, well, like bad times, good times. But that's the idea, is once again avoiding your terrible fate in some way, either by skipping or stopping the time it would happen, or just taking that spot and moving it somewhere else.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a fight between Josuke, between Soft and Wet and Speed King. And I think Jobin's going to lose, and he's like, I have to beat him, and I'm going to sacrifice myself if it means I can secure safety for my family or something like that. And I still think there's going to be like one more, like,
if he did that, that's because like at the end of the day, Jobin wants strength so that he can enjoy life. Would he? I wonder what kind of writing would have to come into like him being able to sacrifice a normal life to like fuse with someone or something,
yeah,
just to beat Josuke.
I feel like there has to be another fusion like coming up because it keeps being referenced.
I feel like it had to be a last ditch survival effort, not like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And so do you think it might evolve? Because I was thinking, with how different Jojolion is, someone that is very clearly evolving into something absolutely busted is Tsurugi, right? What if this is a part where the main villain doesn't evolve? He has actually a pretty down-to-earth stand, but Tsurugi evolves and he's allied with the main villain, and the final battle becomes a Higashikata struggle for Tsurugi's soul. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say
we need to talk Tsurugi out of working with Jobin because he's too strong and he's the weapon in this last fight. Like, that would be a really interesting dynamic, I think.
And like, what does it mean to be like an actual family? Because a big theme of this part, which kind of it harkens back to like a little bit to like part 1 and part 2, where like, what does it mean? Like, what's your family connection to everything? Like, what does it mean to be connected to someone by blood?
Mm-hmm. That's a big JoJo theme, I think.
Yeah, and so like this one really though is like that's like the big part of it, because like every arc essentially has some other family member that's involved with it in some way and develops them more and more and more. And it's really like Josuke is the main protagonist, but it really is the story of like this family overcoming this curse or what other hardships they have like individually. And I feel like the climax is them coming together and be like, we have to figure this out together. Like, I feel like that's the ultimate like thing in the end here that has to happen.
I think it goes beyond that too, where the very first chapter of Jojolion, it says, this is the story of curing a curse.
Yeah.
People that say Jojolion lost its way when Josuke found his identity, no, like, it's more on track than it's ever been, because he's working to cure Holly's curse. And what you're saying got me thinking, yeah, because like now the Higashikata family is going to get into a struggle on how to cure Tsurugi's curse.
And what does that mean for the family? Like, does that mean like we were going to sacrifice a portion of our family to cure just another portion of the family? Like, is that fair? That's like a huge deal, I feel.
And Norisuke was willing to give up his life for Tsurugi.
Yeah.
But Jobin wants to kill others to get this fruit to cement that, like, the wealth and well-being of his family. That's I mean, if that's where it goes, that's really good and like pretty reinforced so far.
I've never thought like Jojolion like kind of lost what I was trying to say. It was very important. Like, it's like part 4 where like there was a lot of like build up to like setting up pieces of like where these things are, and really when Vitamin C hits, that's where like we kind of understand what's happening with our driving forces now. It's like that. And C is the Yoshikage Kira wants a normal life or quiet life.
Yeah, it's halfway point also, which I think this part might be around 110 chapters.
Yeah, and it's just it's so reliant on like the family dynamic and like what it means to be in this family, and like because every time we see them almost interacting like individually with each other, and Josuke is like the only one that's like working together with each family member, like with
He's teamed up or fought everyone at this point.
Yeah, and like Joshua and Josuke have like that on the street where they have to figure out what the street's happening with the street.
Hato and Josuke murder Damo.
Yeah.
He fights Daya, and now they're pals.
Best friends. Tsurugi, and he helps out Tsurugi with I Am a Rock.
Yeah.
And with and becomes really close with Neurosuke too.
Yeah, him and Neurosuke are pals.
Yeah. Kato's the only outlier. Kato and Jobin are the only outliers in which he hasn't had like a beat up moment.
The fact that we really don't know Kato's role in this, and like Araki has been the most consistent he's ever been this part, where he's working with 80% memory, which is an all-time high. So it's like, what is Kato like? Kato has a purpose, and I'm dying to find out what.
It's not like he's forgotten because she gets mentioned.
She showed up not too long ago. She was in a hammock, just chilling.
Yeah. Like she's sitting there and waiting. She's definitely there for something.
Man, I think that's good for Jojolion. I'm very excited for the future. Another great chapter. Hope you guys enjoyed our discussion.
Yeah.